Okay, Austin. Yeah, look at that.
So good. Good job, Austin.
Now let's move to the peg grind.
Yeah, the peg grind is one of those tricks where it's a lot of fun. It's pretty easy as far as lip tricks are concerned, but it's one of those things where you gotta learn the proper technique, and we're gonna show you that. But before we get to that, one of the things that you're gonna do wrong right off the bat, pretty much every kid does it, I know I did it, Dave probably did it as well, is when you first start off with the peg grind, you're gonna throw your body over the deck. You're really not used to doing lip tricks at that point, so you're not really understanding the concept. You wanna stay kind of with your body weight over the transition rather than over the deck. You want to grind with pretty much your pegs only. They're the only thing that's going to be grinded on the coping.
What Kip said is right. You really have to keep your weight over the transition, because if you don't, you're gonna just fall on the deck every single time. But the scariest thing about it, I guess, is that you really got to trust your 4.5-inch peg. That's really the only thing that's going to save you from flying down on the deck or into the ramp. So you really got to learn to trust your pegs, lean in, keep your bike almost to one side of you where your weight's totally into the transition, but your bike's kind of on the right side of you if you're turning to the left, to keep you grinding far and fast. Okay, once you got the double peg dialed, let's take a step further and go to the feeble grind. And remember, the feeble grind you learned on the grind box is where your back peg's on the coping and your front wheel's on top of the ramp where you can steer and drop in.
The harder part about the feeble grind is not necessarily the grinding part, Dave, but it's kind of rolling in because your front tire is actually up on the coping. And if you have a ramp like the one that we're on right here, the coping does stick up a little bit, so you got to be careful you don't hook your front tire on the way in, which will send you to the flat bottom.
Definitely be careful. And also the feeble is also going to slide a lot quicker, so make sure you do a couple slow ones before you start going super fast, because you will probably go off the ramp. I've done it many times, but let's show you. That's the feeble position where you're going to grind, and to get back in, you want to lean your weight in the same way, but instead of hopping the whole bike in, all you got to do, pick up your front wheel and lean right in. You don't have to hop the whole bike and use more energy than you really need. Let me show you.
You'll notice Dave's got quite a bit of speed, about the same amount of speed as for a double peg grind. He's going to set the front tire up. The hard part is the ride in, as he hops back in, almost bunny hopping like we showed you out in the flat ground. Getting the front tire up and over the top of the coping for a successful ride out.
And also another thing to remember is when you're grinding in the feeble, sometimes you have a tendency of steering your wheel out over the deck, and if you steer too much, your back peg will slip off. You'll come down to your sprocket and you'll fall in. So be careful of that. Keep your front wheel as close as you can to coping. When you come to the edge, hop in over the coping and ride away. Once you've mastered the grinds, you're probably going to be fearless. The rolling's going to seem like nothing to you. One thing you really want to look out for, roll up at a moderate speed, keep your pedals level, and make sure you pull your front wheel up over the coping, lean your weight in, and roll down. It's pretty simple. If you're doing feeble grinds, you're probably already doing the rolling, but we're going to teach you anyway.
Yeah, one of the things too, Dave, that you want to make sure you don't do is you don't want to go in straight at the ramp. When you roll in, you're going to go at an angle. Dave's going to show you how to do that right now.
And definitely another thing, you don't want to pedal when you're going in. Keep your pedals level, that's a must. Here we go.
Do your pedaling on the deck to get your speed. Dave's got a little bit of speed right there. He's going to lift up, go right in on the ramp.
And then the pop out. I mean, one more thing you want to keep in mind with the roll-in is don't roll over the coping. Pick up your front wheel, lift it over the coping, and then lean in and roll down.
The next thing we're going to show you is what we call the rollback. Now this is a trick that you can practice on flat ground in a parking lot or in a driveway. I'm going to show it to you right here on the ramp, and the principle is the same. What we're going to do is we're basically going to ride up the ramp, and you might have heard before in bikes and skateboarding, things of that nature, you might have heard of the term called fakie. Well, fakie basically means coming down the ramp backwards. Fakie tricks are very, very difficult, and if someday you want to be pro, there's a good chance you're probably going to be learning a lot of those fakie tricks. And we're going to teach you the basics on how to do a rollback. Now first I'm going to show you real quick, even though we don't have a lot of room here on the flat bottoms, I'm going to show you basically how to get the feel for the rollback. Now, believe it or not, this is one of those tricks, just like a lot of the tricks that we've taught you. It looks easy, but when it comes down to it, and you don't really have a whole lot of bike control, pretty much everything is difficult, and we understand that. So what we're going to do is I'm going to talk to you and show you how I learned the rollback, and basically, like we said before, there's no substitute for practice. So I'm going to show you the proper technique, which is basically just like Dave taught us. When we're riding the ramp, our pedals are going to be level. Whichever way you like to ride, I prefer to ride with my right pedal back in that level position. And what I'm going to do before I even put my feet on the pedals is I'm going to keep both feet off so that it stabilizes my body over the center of the bike. I'm sitting down on the seat, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to push myself backwards and just get the feel for the rollback. I'm just going to do that a couple times and try and get the feeling going here. Now, one of the things that I notice when kids try this trick that stops them from kind of progressing on it is that they go too slow. Just like when you're riding forward, if you go real slow, it's harder to steer. If you go with a little bit of speed, it helps you kind of maintain your balance and your coordination. This time I'm going to take a pedal here and get a little bit of speed. I'm going to go up the transition, I'm going to keep my feet on the pedals, I'm going to roll backwards, try and keep my body centered. Now it's a little tricky when you're coming up the ramp that way, going backwards because you're going up, rolling up the transition a little bit. Just stay focused, concentrate on keeping your body over the center of the bike and keeping the wheels straight. Pretty soon you're going to be up there towards the top of the coping. You're going to be busting out tricks and landing backwards. That's the proper way to do a rollback.
Kip and I took you through some basic steps of mini ramp riding. Just take your time, have fun. When you feel more comfortable, take it to the vert ramp, and we'll be showing more of that in volume 2. Okay, I know you guys watch the X Games. All the flips, bar spins, all the big tricks, this is where it happens, the box jump. We're gonna take you through it. We have special guest pro bike rider Ryan Nyquist with us to join us. Here he is. What's up, Ryan?
What's up, Dave?
Glad you could join us.
Thanks.
Well, you want to take us through how to jump a box?
Yeah, let's get started. First things first, you want to watch your speed. Right off the bat, just make sure you have enough speed just to be able to pop up. You don't want to fall back down. After that, just kind of approach it a little bit faster each time. You know, getting a little further on top of the deck, but you definitely don't want to rush into this because if you just go full bore at it, like pedal as fast as you can, you're going to probably get hurt and crash.
Definitely. I mean, when you come into the skate park, the most important part is safety gear. As you can see, Ryan and I are both padded up, knee pads, elbow pads, gloves, helmets for sure. And one thing that's optional that helps a lot is a flat-soled shoe that I have. If you have a flat-soled shoe with a grippy shoe pattern, sticks to your pedals, you're not going to slip pedals and fall off your bike. Let's go, Ryan. Why don't you jump it?
All right,
Let's
I'll
see
show
it.
you. I'll go a little speed. Just
Let's see it. Do a halfie.
All right.
It's called the Happy Daffy. Notice Ryan. Relaxed on his bike, pops up, lean forward, lands on top. Okay, Ryan, I'm going to give it a shot.
Go a little bit faster, Dave.
Okay.
There you go. Just coming at it. Check him out real relaxed.
Lean forward, push through. Whoa.
A little bit further that time, you notice. He went a little bit faster than I did that next time, so landed almost to the end, and I'm going to take it all the way this time. I'm going to go all the way.
Good, Ryan, you going to go all the way this time?
All the way.
Watch this. Watch the speed and watch how relaxed he is. Great. Watch him lean forward, back, push over the front of the bike, and there he is. He cleared it. But like Ryan was saying, start maybe halfway over, go 3/4, a little bit each time, a little more. Finally, you're clearing it. When you get very consistent and dialed at that, that's when you start beginning some bigger tricks. I'd just like you guys to meet my friend Cody. He's 12 years old, and this just goes to show you that anybody can do this if you work hard. Cody's been out here every day with us all the time. Obviously, Ryan and I probably make it look pretty easy, but Cody's out here working hard, and I guarantee when he's my age, he's going to own the sport.
Oh, yeah. Cody, little ripper.
Watch Cody. He's gonna blast this box.
Jump the box, Cody.
Pretty amazing.
Yeah!
Almost made it!
Cody's a man.
He is. Cody, you want to show us your line? We jumped the box. Cody has a whole different line that works for him.
He's a little smaller than us and doesn't quite have the leg power to get on the boost, so he kind of takes the alternative route.
Look at this guy. Yeah!
That's awesome.
That's awesome right there. In skate parks like this, there's alternatives. You don't have to do the line everybody else is doing. He's taking a different line and making it work for himself.
Use your imagination, you know? Like, there's all kinds of stuff to do. You just got to look and find it.
One of the beginner tricks that are great, and I think everybody should do it, is an X-up. You go up, keep your pedals level. As you're going up, lean back, kind of pinch the seat, and turn the bars.
When you pinch the seat with your knees, what it's going to do is going to enable the bike to stay stable right underneath you. It's not going to move around and like that, and you'll be able to just twist the bars. This again too, just take it in stages. Maybe go up and do a couple turn bars first. Just work your way into the full X-up.
I'm going to go for it all the way. Pinch seat, twist.
Nice.
You go up, keep your pedals level. As you're going up, lean back, pinch the seat, and turn the bars. Well, that exit felt pretty easy. Ryan, why don't you show us the bar spin?
Bar spin, all right. Well,
You're the master of bar spins.
that's not, you know, you said it, not me.
I did, I said it, he's a master.
But bar spin's kind of like similar to an X-up really, except you know, you go back, flat on the pedals, pinching the seat. It's kind of like an X-up, except you're just kind of letting go and spinning it through really. A good way to practice these is just sitting on the ground, really kind of back up against the fence or something, and just get the motions down.
And we went through that earlier on the flat ground, like we said. Ride, pedals level, pinch the seat, lean back, hand to hand.
Yep.
He's gonna do it on the jump for us. Whoa, I almost died right there. It's all dangerous.
Yeah. Hopefully I don't do that.
Yeah, Ryan, bar spin. Pinch through him, look at that. Master of bar spins, Ryan Nyquist. Ride, pedals level, pinch the seat, lean back, hand to hand. Looks easy, doesn't it? Well, that's not really all that easy. It took me a long time to learn bar spins. Remember, have fun, don't get discouraged. What's next, no footer?
Yeah, I guess so. We can do no footers.
The way I did them when I was younger, I would lock the brake just to keep my pedals stable so they wouldn't flip or spin. If your cranks are loose, it's easy for your cranks to spin around. I lock the brake and just slide your feet off. Don't try to pick them up and jump off the pedals. Just try to go up and be weightless. Start your jump after you're off the lip, take your feet off the pedals and just slide them to the side. Slide them back on and ride away.
This is another one where you can kind of take it in stages too. You don't got to kick them all the way out at first. You can kind of take them off a little bit and get comfortable in the air with your feet off the pedals. But make sure you're kind of looking and spotting for your pedals too, because it'll hurt if you land no-footed.
Exactly, and this guy was a soccer player, so he has great feet, hand-eye coordination.
That's right.
Type stuff.
Corner kicks and everything. Watch David come up, kick his feet right off, spot the toes, and put them right back on, no problem.
Yeah, Ryan. Okay guys, the next trick, which is a little bit bigger, is a 360. Ryan and I are gonna take you through it, but remember back to how you learned how to jump the box. So little by little, finally clear it. That's what we're gonna do on the 360.
Yeah, just start slow, really. Just kind of make sure you can 360 up on top of the box, clearing, you know, just getting up on both wheels on the deck. And after that, just, you know, add a little more speed, a little more speed, a little more speed, but definitely take your time because you don't want to get hurt, because this is a little more advanced trick for sure.
Best thing on a 360, I think, is look back at the 360 bunny hop, get those dialed on flat ground, because when you come up the box jump, if you try to yank your front wheel, you're gonna come around and land back wheel and fall on your back. You wanna try to come off almost turning your front wheel off the lip, and it's gonna almost, you're almost gonna ride off, almost nose wheelie off in a sense. In some ways it feels like that, where you carve so hard, you're taking off your front wheel, and that levels you off, bring it around, and come in smooth with your front end down. That's the most important part as you're landing.
One thing you don't want to do is ride at the lip and kind of start turning before you get to the top of it, because that's what we call carving on a 360, and that's no good, because what that does is whichever way you carve, it'll shoot you towards off the ramp, and if you do it too much, you'll fall totally completely off the box.
Missing a ramp's probably the worst way you could crash. You definitely don't want that. Or you don't want to come up and kick out this way or alley-oop the other way. You definitely want to stay centered and keep your bike level, but it takes a lot of practice, so start slow, and we're going to take you through it.
All right, let's do it.
Let's do it.
Go slow at first.
Yeah. Slow one. Now watch Ryan as he's coming up. Watch how he takes off the lip, how he kind of whips, snaps off the lip. See, that's a quick snap right there, where first of his rotation.
Yeah.
Let's do it again.
Just because you're at very little speed, you got to whip a little bit harder to get all the way around. And Dave's going to go a little bit faster.
Snap, land,
Turn a little bit